Sherman and Tingle in the morning.
Road trip.
Awesome road trip.
That would be a little more than a week away from Memorial Day weekend. That's usually when everybody gets out.
I can't remember even the last time I took a road trip. The only thing last time I took it wasn't really a road trip. I just had to move my daughter into college, so I had to drive all the way down to Alabama. That was the only thing I did. That was it.
No, you never went on any road trips with
Oh,
your
I went
family?
on road trips. It's just been so long since I've been on an actual road trip.
We went on one. It was Memorial Day. We didn't do it last year because of health issues with my wife. But then the year before, we went to Minneapolis. We went to a Twins game. We just went up there just to get somewhere else, like somewhere within driving distance that's not so far away. I'm not driving to Yellowstone or anything like that. I mean, that's just it's too far for Memorial Day weekend.
My dream/fantasy, I want to go to one of those RV places when I can afford it, and I want to buy one of those small, I forget the term I'm looking for. Almost looks like a little mini SUV or
Like
RV.
a van? Like a Sprinter?
Yeah, like a Sprinter type RV. And I want to take one of them and have it pimped out inside, and I would just love to drive and just stay in it across the country. I would love to do that. That'd be fun to me. My wife's, no. She has nothing to do with it.
I was going to say, she would be sleeping.
She goes, you're going by yourself, because I'm not doing that.
You're going to live the van life yourself.
I would love to just drive around the country and just stay in it. That would be such a great thing to do.
I could never figure out why my dad wanted to do that. Like, my dad, he worked all the time. He worked at Chrysler. So he really only got 2 times a year where he wasn't either sleeping or working. And for some reason, I always wanted to drive to the ends of the country. I mean, I remember one time we drove to California. I don't know if he was clinically insane because he had all of us in the car, and that was before a truck had 4 doors. You know, do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
All trucks just were 2 doors, and then you had, it was basically a prison cell in the back.
Yes.
You had the fold-down seats that were completely unsafe. You didn't wear a seatbelt anyway, so I guess it didn't matter. But the ones that folded down from the side, what was that supposed to do if you ever got into an accident? Was it an immediate death so they didn't have to worry about reviving anybody if you were to get in a car accident?
At least you had that. My parents just put blankets in the bed. They had that camper shell glued onto the back.
Yes.
And they just put blankets in the back and said, hey, we'll see you. You guys are back there.
We did that. My dad did that as well. It was a truck cab. Just put a piece of plywood in the back, and then you would crawl through the window.
Yep.
Oh, you'd have like 30 years of prison time if you did that now. But he would always go, and I've said this before, we'll go to some odd places, and you know, my brother Mark, he's just a few years younger than me, and we'd always go, why the hell are we here? Why are we doing this? And then come to find out, I called my mom last weekend. She talks to my brother. My brother wants to do the exact same thing. He goes, I just want to go on a relaxing trip and drive out to South Dakota. I'm like, this doesn't sound relaxing. You got 3 children in the back of a car.
You know why that is, right?
There's going to be no relaxation at all.
It's because he's a product of his environment. And it's sort of like Vacation, the second Vacation movie with Ed Helms, where he wanted to be like his dad, Clark Griswold, and that's your brother. He wants to be like Clark Griswold.
There's aspects of that I appreciate, like Yellowstone. I would love to go to Yellowstone. It's just so damn far away. That's the only problem. I would love to go back to, Old Faithful. And I always remember this huge log cabin that was right by the place, and it almost burned down. They saved it back in the late 80s from a fire. But I remember going in there. I'm like, oh, I would always want to stay there. But it was expensive. There was no way my parents were footing bill on that. No, we were in like 1979 Starcraft pop-up camp. There was no way that was going to happen. But he would take us to this place called the Mitchell Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. I've talked about this before. I don't know who they conned or what kind. They've convinced 500,000 suckers a year to go to this place. And my brother is taking his kids. He's going to put them through the same pain. All it is it's a building made of corn. That's all it is. It says, and I love how they say, so the world's only corn palace in Mitchell is premier tourist attraction, attracting some 500,000 suckers from around the nation each year to this uniquely designed corn mural. The city's first corn palace was built as a way to prove to the world that South Dakota had a healthy agricultural climate, and to prove that they had something even more boring than Wall Drug, which is another place that we would go.
I never even heard of Wall Drug.
You never saw any of the billboards? See, you should have gone on more road trips. Because
Yeah.
if you go west, there's billboards like 1,000 miles away for basically a strip mall. That's all it is, in the middle of completely nowhere.
Yeah, I'm good. Road trips, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm good. I'd love to do it, but by myself. No family.
Well, it sounds like you're going to get your wish. I don't think your wife's going to go with.
Nope.
You see some lonely guy driving around in a
Living
Sprinter.
the dream, baby.
That would be Tingle.
You're listening to the Sherman and Tingle Show on 97.1 FM The Drive and on the Drive mobile app.